Hey everyone, Tolly Anderson on behalf of California Family Law Naked Truth. Joined today with Chuong Vo. He is a father, a husband, former mayor of Cerritos, even a former law enforcement officer of 28 years, now running for Congress, District 45. Share with everyone, what's the message to the voters out there?
The message is nowadays we need to make sure our conservative values are respected, but also are supported by families here in Orange County and LA County. I'm that conservative value, and as a police officer for 28 years, I understand how the legal system works, and also to keep the majority in the House to make sure that we control the House, and that way we can continue on with the path that we've been going for the last 2 years.
How's the journey been going so far? Midterms are coming quickly.
Yes, it's been exciting since I started back in October. I've been asked to run because they have identified me as the person that can actually beat the incumbent. So it's been really exciting. I tell people, there's not enough time in the day, and I always feel like we're behind because I'm constantly getting requests to go from one place to the next, like right here. But I'm very happy and honored to be here.
You mentioned beating your incumbent. What makes you different that you are confident you will beat your incumbent?
Well, first we got to pass the primary. There are other candidates that are running, but I am the only candidate on the Republican side that can beat the incumbent based on my background as a conservative Vietnamese. Orange County has a high population of Vietnamese voters, and so therefore I check that box. And then also where I'm geographically located out in Cerritos. I was the former mayor of Cerritos, council member, and I'm still pretty well known. My name recognition is very well known out there. And with that, I bring in the votes that Michelle still unfortunately lost. And she only lost by 653 votes. In Cerritos, when I ran for office, I had over 5,300 votes. So I think in that city alone, I'm pretty competitive.
And then sharing that you are a father, you're a husband, what's one specific practice you believe is failing in families right now? I mean, even specifically with family court, we are California Family Law Naked Truth. What kind of view do you have on this?
Well, as I raise my children, especially in the school system, what I see today is the family values have been deteriorated. Children today are being just inundated with social media, lots of these messages that are really pro-left, trying to change the minds and the hearts of our children in the wrong direction, and that's why I feel like our family values are being attacked. And so we as parents, conservative family value parents, need to bestow on our kids that social media is out there to attack us, but we need to bring it back into the family nucleus at home.
Do you have a game plan of what and how we can bring that back, or what maybe the plan looks like for when you do get in office?
It's very easy, I think. It's that we just continue to support and vote for conservative candidates in politics, because I really truly believe politics really run the world. If you don't believe it now, you're seeing it. And so we don't have great conservative values in our level, every level of political branches. We're seeing what we get in California.
Can you share a little more insight, being that you were an officer for almost 30 years, out in the field, the families that you did encounter, and maybe how that is the disruption in the court system, what we're seeing on our side at California Family Law Naked Truth?
Yeah, so as a police officer for 28 years, I do get involved in cases where we get domestic violence, or we get neglect, abuse of children. And from my end, when we go there, we make sure that these children are taken care of. We call the appropriate authorities, usually Child Protective Services. They come out, and as a police officer, you get this understanding that these children, once they leave my hands, that they're in good hands. We try our best to make sure that they're protected when they're with us. And what I understand is once they leave our hand and go into the system, it's hard to say where it goes from there, especially with the family court the way it is, and the problems that I'm understanding is happening to good families, good parents, and the attacks on those values. And so that's concerning to me.
Chuong, is there anything else you'd like to add or maybe share with the future voters out there?
Yes, and thank you first off for having me here. As you know, I'm running for office in the 45th Congressional District, Michelle Steele's old seat, and why it's so important for all of us to make sure that we recognize that we need to vote for conservative candidates because of issues that you're facing today in California, but not just in California, United States. Over and over again, we're constantly getting bombarded by the far left with their crazy ideas and their crazy philosophy, and you need people that understand the American values. We need to understand the American dream and why we're all here, and that is who I am. My family fled Vietnam back in '75, and when we fled, we were given options to go somewhere else, but we decided to wait and go to America legally as immigrants. And when we traveled here, we didn't come here for handouts, but we did come here for the land of opportunities, and we worked really hard. I worked really hard. I became a police officer, and from there I became the mayor, and now I'm running for Congress because I believe in the American dream needs to be continued on for generations to come, but also to preserve American values. And that's why I became an American, and that's why I'm running for Congress. So thank you for your support. Make sure you vote for Chuong Vo for Congress. Thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate your time today and good luck.